All right, we're back at it with another part drawing. Here we go with the clapper box. It's pretty simple. There is some tricky things in our first sketch here that we're going to do that we haven't done before. One being the slot and throwing some tangents on here to get this curve. And we also have what's called a counterbore down here, which will use the hole feature to produce that. But to start, I like to start with just a simple rectangle on a sketch plane. And the rectangle's dimensions will be 4.5 by 7.5. All right, so I'm over here. I'm just going to start a sketch on the front plane, and to normalize, P to turn off my planes, and let's throw a center point rectangle on this, and we're going to make it 7.5 inches by 4.5 inches. Now this obviously is not the actual shape of our drawing or of our part. We have curves in here. To get those curves, I'm actually just going to draw full circles and then trim, but I'm going to get them tangent to the sides. So the size of our circles are right here. A radius of 5.5 or 5.5 will give us a diameter of, you got it, 11. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make sure I'm in line with the extension line with my origin. Again, important to have our origin centered on our part. It helps us with things like this. So if I click, drag out, my diameter of a radius 5.5 is 11. And I'll put another one over on this side, 11. Again, we could have done like equal and things like that. But up top here, I'm going to throw on the tangent constraint. And that'll hit that with that, that with that. And now we have a fully defined sketch with this curve on the side representing the footprint or stamp point, whatever you want to call it, of our clapper box. I'm actually going to trim this stuff away. I'm not going to get too crazy with my trim because it'll start to become undefined. So I'm just going to leave these corners on here, and I'll be able to click around later when I actually extrude just what I want to extrude. All right, so let's now look at our slot. Now our slot here gives us another radius of 4.5, diameter of 9, and I have the center of that. So I'm going to draw a construction line circle, get the center of my slot, and there's actually a slot button, and it'll even make a slot on the curve, and we'll have our full width of our slot there, and I'll do some more constraints with like midpoint and things like that to get that. So other thing though, notice same center point, right? All the center points are over there. So when I go over here and draw another circle that I'll make a construction line circle, I'll make sure my center of it is here. And radius 4.5 gives us a diameter of 9. So here is the center of our slot. We just need to get the full width. And I get my full width by placing some points. So I'm going to place the points randomly, 3 points randomly on the curve here. And I'm going to trim away up here and here. And you'll notice that these points are still undefined. So we're going to define them with the measurements that we're given. We're given the full distance from here to here as 3.25. And then this point is actually in line with the midpoint. They give us the measurement here, showing the distance, but it's also to the center line. So this is actually just a midpoint. So I'll use the midpoint constraint, hit that with that, and that's now placed at the middle. We also, when I placed the point, I could have trimmed and placed it and actively placed it there, but I did it this way. And now I'll hit the horizontal, that, with the origin. Now I shifted the whole thing down. That was locked to the midpoint, so I pulled the whole thing down, and now I'm fully defined. And I have this arc here that'll be used for our slot. So slot is actually up here. Slot, click on that, and look at the slot it's made, and then it just wants our diameter of our slot, which is right here, or width of our slot, 5/8. So if I click, up top here was our value. Let's just make it 0.625, and there's our slot for our clapper box. What are we missing still? We're still missing the rectangular kind of wings up top here and bottom. Those dimensions are right here. 4.25 by right down here. That's something with 16ths, right? 13, maybe. So I'm going to draw that with a corner point rectangle. Click. Whoopsie, that's a center point rectangle. Let's hit escape on that, and let's actually do a corner point rectangle. I'm clicking on, I'm making sure I'm not clicking in line with that. That'll just give us issues. And then I'm actually just going to click on this side here, right? So our full width is 4.25, enter. And this way is 0.8125. Enter. Fully defined. Look at that. And I'll just draw another one down here. Could mirror it, could do a bunch of things, but I'll just type the numbers twice. 0.8125. All right, so now I have a fully defined sketch. I can do some trimming and stuff, but again, it's not important. I want to keep things defined. If you start trimming things where dimensions are tied to, it starts to mess things up for you. So let's not do that. And this is actually going to be the point that we're going to use for our counterbore, but our sketch right now is done. So I'm going to hit the check mark. I'm going to hit Shift 7 just so you can see that when I extrude, directions I'm going in, but I'm going to now make my sketch a 3D object. And look, since I did not fully trim everything, I have closed shapes all over the place, right? So I'm specifically going to click, and down here, click, I orbit a little bit if you need to, down there, and it's asking now for our full thickness. Our thickness is right here, 5/8. So right here, 0.625, enter. And then I'm actually going to hit the check mark here. And now I'm going to actually extrude the wings separately, right? So if I go back to extrude, it turned off our sketch on us. That's fine. Just turn it back on. I'm just going to orbit around and click on these guys. And this distance here is 2. So we'll make this 2. Check mark. There you go. Turn off the sketch for a second just to make things a little easier to look at. And we are missing the holes on the side and the chamfers. So I'm going to orbit around this way. Let's click on it. It's actually the bottom. I'm going to do a sketch on this plane, and I'm just going to throw a point on here, making sure I'm not in line with the origin here, not snapping to that. And I'm just placing it over here. All right, and the location of the center of our ream hole here, which has a 0.5 diameter, is 0.75 from the side, 0.75 from this bottom edge. So looking at our dimensions, I'll click, 0.75, scooched it over, perfect. And then from this line to here, 0.75, enter. Now I'm fully defined. I'm not in line with that, right? If you're getting some errors, you might have accidentally lined it up with that. And now I can place my hole there. So check mark, I'll just orbit around just a touch so you can see it. Hole on that point. I have it through all. And the diameter, which I just said was 1/2. So I can go here to 1/2 and check mark. We're all the way through this object, through all. And we're getting there, moving right along. Well, we can throw those chamfers on right now. On the edges, they're on the outside edges. It looks a little funny in this picture because of the isometric view that we have, but it is a 0.1875 chamfer. If I hit that Shift 7 just so it can line up in the same way, chamfer, it's this one and that one, right? And our distance here is 0.1875, enter, check mark. There's our chamfer. Looking good. We're only missing one thing, and it is our counterbore hole right around here. I'm going to turn back on our sketch just so we can see that point there. That's where we're going to actually put our counterbore. So I hit the hole button. Now I'm not actually going to be able to click on this because our sketch is actually on the back side. If we extruded in the other direction, we probably would have, but that would have required math. So I'm actually going to do it with this mate connector. So if I click mate connector here, I have a point right above my point below, right? Just, you got to wiggle it around a little bit, make sure it's not going like sideways like it was before, but it's right there, right? But this is a counterbore, and a counterbore, again, leaves you this second depth here to, bury your head, nut head, or screw head. Might be a countersink for screw. So you can flush on the surface here, or be flush on the surface. And looking at our counterbore, the hole that goes all the way through is our drill 1, and our counterbore is 1.5 at 0.3125 deep. So our drill hole going all the way through is a 1. Does this have a 1 all the way down here? Yeah, there you go. 1. It's yelling at us because right now our width here is smaller, which can't work. And our depth here, though, is only 0.3125. Enter. Check mark. Turn off our sketch. Shift 7, look at it. Wow, so nice, right? That's it for it. Let's just double check that volume, see what we get. 26.287 cubic inches on our clapper box. That's it. Good luck, have fun.